We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Wow. Well, it looks like the cat's out the bag. Cameron Duncan, manager, tells all on Top Rank matchmaking policies and theories that they've used regarding black fighters. May surprise you. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, the Cash App, and the Patreon family. We working. I also set up a Zelle for you guys, so make sure you guys, that's another way to support the channel. ESPN Plus, link is in the description. That's another great way. ESPN Plus, they have a ton of content, docuseries, documentaries for your viewing pleasure. You can get ESPN Plus as a standalone app, or you can bundle it. ESPN Plus, Hulu, and Disney Plus, all three apps for one price. Now, let's jump right into the content. I can't even say shocking because I've told you stuff like this on the channel. You know, it's just now you have tangible proof behind it. So Fred from Barbershop Conversations, link in the description. He did an interview with Cameron Duncan. Now, Cameron Duncan is a manager in the boxing world. He's currently in charge of, or one of the people managing Jaron Boots Ennis, who's a top talent that I'm enjoying watching his journey. In the past, he's worked with guys like Timothy Bradley and Terrence Crawford, two top ranked fighters, and he worked at Top Rank. You know, I used to, when I go to Top Rank fights, I used to see him all the time, right? I'd be in Omaha or something for a Crawford fight, and I would see Cameron Duncan. But I guess him and Bob, I don't know what happened, but I don't know if they, you know, on the greatest of terms from what he says. Because he says in this interview something like, you're going to get Bob to hate me more than he already does. But link in the description. It's rather appalling what was said. Cameron Duncan says that back in his top ranked days or whatnot, the matchmaker, who he didn't say the name, but we know who the top ranked matchmakers are, right? He said he used to have something. And actually, let me preface this. Fred, it looked like, or it sounded like he got tipped off a little bit, because he says, I was going to do the interview with you and I was told to ask about the top rank policy, the whiteboard, or, you know, whatever, something about if this fighter X could fight this fighter, you know, of this particular group or whatnot. So it sounds like this is something that behind closed doors was known about. And then you hear Cameron Duncan in the interview say like, oh, you had to take it there, huh? And he was like, yeah, I'm just asking the question. You know, something, I'm just paraphrasing, again, link in the description. Now, what he continues to reveal should be, you know, pretty shocking to some people who haven't been listening to my channel, because I've warned you guys of stuff like that. He said the top ranked matchmaker had something on the board. Like I'm imagining they're trying to draw out whoever's next fight, upcoming fight, and then he would put columns up, and basically said that one of the columns would say NBF, which represented no black fighters, meaning we weren't going to match that person, that blue chip prospect or champion or whatever, with black fighters. And I want to play a snippet real quick because it's better than me just telling you, so you can hear for yourself.
Ask Cameron Duncan, do Top Rank have like columns of fighters? And they say, we don't want this guy fighting the black fighter. We don't want this fighter fighting a Mexican fighter, and so on and so forth.
You're going to get into the racial stuff, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm asking.
That's a theory there by the greatest matchmaker, probably, in my opinion, ever. and I'm not going to mention his name either, but you know what I'm talking about. And he used to have a thing up on his board, NBF, no black fighters. And when I was taught to bring up a fighter, you know, and again, it's just, he used to say to me, you can go anywhere in the country, and I'm going to leave it at this. I don't want to go into a long discussion because people are people in God's eyes, and we're all the same. He used to say to me, you can go anywhere into a city in America or anywhere in the world and ask a white guy, and he didn't say any other, he didn't say anything about Hispanic, anything. Ask a white guy to throw a jab, and half of them are going to turn backwards and throw it like a girl and everything. Ask any black man on a street corner in any city in the world, and they will snap out a jab in a heartbeat. And I used to laugh. He said, they're just more physically gifted. And he said, and so they have speed, and better to stay away from them. Nothing personal. So I said, okay. And I've lived by that. And, you know, I don't want to sound like some weird guy, but, you know, you're trying to be safe with your guys. And so, yeah, there is a thing about that, you know, but not in a bad way, in a very respectful way, you know, to be careful. So that's all.
So that was from Cameron Duncan. You guys heard of it yourself. He said that they had an NBF, and he said it wasn't necessarily a derogatory thing, but he said black fighters are so gifted that they have some inherent advantage, so they just knew they weren't going to put certain people in there. Now, the funny thing is, when I talk about race on the channel as it pertains to boxing, people get mad and say, oh, you're playing the race card. But a non-black person like Cameron Duncan tells you a story like this, that Top Rank's matchmaker had a NBF theory that they used to utilize when orchestrating certain fighters' fights. Nobody says that, oh, he's just playing the race card. And he's given a living testimonial about what he witnessed, and he knows Top Rank because he worked with them. Like I said, he worked with Top Rank fighters as well as black Top Rank fighters. Again, Terrence Crawford and Timothy Bradley. So, you know, this is not shocking to me because I've already told you guys a lot of stuff like this. But for me, I look at it as more proof corroborating some of which I have told you on the channel. For example, Terrence Crawford, he is an African-American fighter aligned and maligned with Top Rank. And he was with Top Rank at the same time as Manny Pacquiao. Terrence Crawford openly said that he would take the fight. Bomac talked about the fight, and HBO wanted the fight, but the fight never, for whatever reason, materialized. Later, Bob Arum, and it's on YouTube, he did an interview and he expressed that he detonated the fight and he made sure that the fight didn't happen because he didn't want to see Pacquiao get hurt. So this is not shocking to me because look at all of the breadcrumbs that have been left. Bob Arum does this interview, which is on YouTube, stating that he didn't want to see Pacquiao get brain damage or something to that effect, which is why he didn't allow the Crawford-Pacquiao fight. But he only revealed this after Manny Pacquiao had left Top Rank, right? So this is an opportunity to have a big name like Pacquiao on his resume that we don't know if Crawford will ever get. That's why when Crawford and Bob Arum were recently saying that they could fight Pacquiao in Dubai or Qatar or wherever, I said it's not likely. One, we're in a pandemic year, so, you know, crowds and money and different things like that, viewership, time zone differences, it just didn't seem likely. But beyond that, what I told you guys, Ego Stradamus looks like he strikes again. I told you another reason I didn't see it being likely is what is the likelihood that Pacquiao leaves your company and organization, Top Rank, and he signs a deal with that he just talked about on his Instagram today with Paradigm Sports, which is also represents Conor McGregor, and he fights Terrence Crawford, meaning you guys were both with Top Rank at the same time and the fight never happened. So why would it happen right now? Crawford is a great, terrific fighter, but if Pacquiao fights Mikey Garcia, that's a whole different demographic of fans. Pacquiao has had a lot of success fighting against Mexican fighters. David Diaz, 4 fights with Juan Manuel Marquez. Eric Morales, he has 3 with him, 2 with Marco Antonio Barrera, Antonio Margarito. So that's a lane that Pacquiao is already, from a business and branding, that's a lane that he's had a lot of popular fights against Mexican American fighters. Jesse Vargas, also throw him on the list. Brandon Rios, right? Versus Crawford. The other issue is, like I said, how would it be easier to make the fight get done if you couldn't get the fight done when you guys were both with Top Rank and both on HBO at the time? You know what I mean? It just didn't seem likely. But Crawford sounded like he was being sold a dream that the Pacquiao fight could happen, because he did interviews where he said, oh yeah, I got something big. And Sean Porter recently said he was open to fight Crawford, but Crawford said he had a lot of stuff in the works. And then now we hear this from Cameron Duncan that Top Rank's matchmaker has an NBF list, where it says no black fighters. And then some people wonder why the Pacquiao versus Terrence Crawford, a black fighter, fight did not happen under the Top Rank banner. So to me, this kind of aligns well and corroborates what I've told you regarding the black dollar and black fighters and how they're pushed and marketed on ESPN and as well as Top Rank. And I think that it's not surprising to me, to be honest. It's not surprising one bit, because why didn't Terrence Crawford get the Pacquiao opportunity? It makes no sense that he didn't get the Pacquiao fight, and now you telling him that he's going to get it now. And Pacquiao, he could fight Conor McGregor, which is a weird, crossover fight. It's just a whole different market, and it's bigger than Pacquiao versus Crawford. So why would Pacquiao fight Crawford, which is a dangerous fight for sure, but he could fight Conor McGregor and do insane pay-per-views, or fight Mikey Garcia, and he's already had a lot of success. So that would probably be a bigger pay-per-view as well, because he's had a lot of success against Mexican fighters. You know what I'm saying? Just fighting and putting on shows and showcase events, and then now we're hearing about this no black fighter list, and saying it's because they're too physically gifted or athletic or whatever. And I don't think boxing matchmakers or whatever should play God like that. Just make the best fights for the fans, and whoever wins. But we knew these things existed, and that's why it's great that you have a person like Cameron Duncan, who was so candid, so honest, and gave this soundbite to Fred, because it just put an actual quotation to something that we knew was already the case, but it just confirmed it. Now, the other thing that I find hilarious is, to all the naysayers when it comes to Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, when it comes to the Glovegate situation, there were a lot of people that said, oh, Glovegate, I see it, 1 and 2, I can understand where you're coming from. That glove, something's faulty with it. But there were a couple scragglers who said that no way, no shape, no how that Tyson Fury could have cheated or would have cheated, and the commission and blah, blah, blah. But if Tyson Fury teamed up with Top Rank and ESPN, and if Top Rank's matchmaker had a theory or a practice that they were going to exercise of no black fighters, in certain situations to not put, I guess, their cash cows or whatever in certain predicaments, then it would make one wonder, did Tyson Fury win that fight clean? Because if you have this NBF policy, the last person on earth that you would want, if you have a no black fighter list, the last black fighter you would want to include in that list is a 6'7" country Alabaman man with crazy one punch power who already knocked out Tyson Fury in the first fight and knocked him unconscious and dropped him twice in a fight where some would say he was being outboxed in spots, right? So if you have a no black fighter list and this is your practice and theory or hypothesis or whatever you want to call it, then that just makes the Tyson Fury fight look more sketch. Because if you're saying, oh, black fighters they have these gifts and unfair advantages or whatever the situation is, why would you have made the Wilder fight? Which could account also why Tyson Fury, instead of fighting Wilder straight away, he fought guys like Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin. So Cameron Duncan, shout out to him for keeping it real and keeping it a buck and going on wax. Because some people, they're not willing to do that. You know, they feel like, oh, I could get blackballed or, you know, denied some type of access. But this is very telling. It's nothing new to me because I've already seen these things. But all the people who said that, you know, Pacquiao Crawford wasn't like halted by the matchmaking and Top Rank and stuff like that, answer this. You know, the people who said that Glovegate 1 and 2 was complete foolishness, then explain this. Why is it so hard to believe if this man is telling you he worked with them and he's seen on the board they had an NBF, you know, list and column as he just documented? Crazy. I can't wait to hear your comments and read your comments in the comment section. We'll be talking about this a lot more. Shout out to Barbershop for this, because this is a gem, you know, definitely something we need to all be talking about. But old media, they definitely won't talk about it. They'll sweep this under the rug, you know, because it was said. And it's so cool that it happened from somebody who has experience, and it's a non-black person. So you can't just say the black channels, because the black person didn't even say this. So this is pretty incredulous information. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. As always, hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.